Hello everyone. For this week's assignment, I chose to read The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend by Dan Santat, and this is a Caldecott Winter Award. This is a story about an imaginary friend that is born and lives on an island with all the other imaginary friends where they are waiting for a friend to choose them. And this imaginary friend spends his nights under the stars wishing and hoping for someone to pick him as his imaginary friend. And no one comes. No one chooses to pick him. So he is very upset and then decides to take matters into his own hands and goes to the real world. And he crosses the oceans and the seas and faces many very scary things, but he realizes along the way that he just has to have a little courage and hopes for his friend, and that's what helps him get through to the real world. When he finally arrives, he realizes that the real world isn't exactly what he was hoping it was going to be. There aren't a lot of kids eating cake, and a lot of the adults just take naps, and that's what he sees. And this kind of upsets him. And so he ventures on and finds himself at the top of a very high tree waiting for his friend to come along. And he is very sad and lonely when he finally hears someone say hello at the bottom of the tree. And he looks down, and it's a little girl whose paper has flown up into the tree. And so he reaches down and hands it to her. And after they stare at each other for a little while, they realize that they should be friends. And that's when he develops the name of Beagle. And Beagle and his friend Alice, they do absolutely everything together. They share snacks, they tell stories, they hang out with other friends, and they do what they describe as the unimaginable together. And I feel like this story is something that's very important for children to read or have read to them because it provides three main lessons. The first lesson that I gathered from this story was sometimes things aren't exactly what you're hoping they're going to be, but you have to power through. They may seem scary and it may be different, but you have to have a little faith and a little bit of courage, and it'll all be okay in the end. And that's something that Beagle realizes. This story also demonstrates that sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands and make things happen. You can't sit around, which is the third lesson, and wait for something to happen. You have to do it yourself. And for the activity, I would have my students in my class write about something that they had to take matters into their own hands about, and then illustrate that time and share with the class about it. Thank you.